What's up? What's up, my good people? It's early morning, Monday morning here for me, Sunday for those of you that are in the mainlands of the U.S. And I want to do a quick video before I go off to work since I have about 20 minutes. So I found an article, some information that I felt the need to provide. And it talks about candidate Kamala Harris, who's eyeing for the President of the United States position in this upcoming election of November 2024. It talks about how she's going to possibly release a new economic plan proposal this week, on the U.S. wealth creation. Sources say, I found this article, and I would like to just read it for you guys, or read it to you, and provide some input. First of all, I would say, do not put your, have to choose my words carefully. Either way, you should be looking out for yourself. No one person or thing can take care of you like you can take care of you. It's kind of hard for one individual to take care of millions and millions of people. I mean, plans can be enacted and put in place that can help you, right? But if you're not taking advantage of them, like investing into the stock market, investing into assets that can generate wealth, what good is the plan if you're not taking advantage of it? If something's going to work for you, to help you, you have to also do the work to get it, to make things happen. So either way, it says here, U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris plans to roll out a new set of economic policies this week that aim to help Americans build wealth and set economic incentives for business to aid that goal. Three sources with knowledge of that matter said, which is great. America is the greatest country, right? With so many different opportunities. That's why you have so many immigrants flooding into the United States of America to work, because there's no place like it. There's so many opportunities in America that can be taken advantage of that most Americans, with me being one of them, do not take advantage of, right? These programs and these things are already in place, right? So, but let's just see what else the article had to say. It says the new policies, which have not been previously reported and could be announced in Pittsburgh on Wednesday, come as undecided voters continue to ask for more information about how Harris would help them economically if she were elected president in November, including those in critical wing states, the sources say. Like, how can someone help you economically? Why can't you help yourself economically? Why can't you go out there and see what's available now? Why you have to wait until then? Granted, there may be some programs and things put in place right after the elections. Let's say if this candidate wins, but programs are already in place. It's not like there's something new. Well, something new will be introduced, but they're already there. So take advantage of what's there currently, right? Because if you're not taking advantage of the programs that are in place now, you're not going to take advantage of them when they're enacted if this candidate wins the presidency in November, right? The rollout would follow heated debate in Democratic circles over whether releasing more economic policies so close to election day is a smart strategy. We're at, a point in time where things are just different, right? You're being told to depend on other people and things for your wealth, and I don't think that's a very smart idea. Take advantage of what they're offering you, but I mean, things like I said, things are already in place that can be taken advantage of now. They always have been in place. We're just not taking advantage of them properly because we're so distracted by the noise, by the things that are on the news, what's being thrown in our faces, the things we see when we step outside our doors. We're so distracted because so many things are vying for our attention. That's why I named this channel Mind Your Money Business. Mind your money business. Mind your business. Try focusing on yourself and see how hard it is. Try learning about the stock market if you know nothing about it, and see how hard it is. It's not easy because we're so distracted by other people, places, and things. Like when you're watching television, when you're on social media, there are so many commercials and things that are distracting your attention, that's making you want to go purchase that meal, go to the grocery store to purchase that item, go to Target to purchase that shirt, go to your nearest or online travel agency and book that trip, go to the car dealership and buy that car, so on and so forth. So none of the sources would provide specific details on the expected new policies, and the Harris campaign would not comment on any new proposals. However, Harris' 2020 presidential run and President Joe Biden's administration included plans with similar goals. Again, these types of things are introduced all the time. Granted, they're good policies. Granted, they're good programs. But like it says here, include similar goals, from 2020. In her 2020 campaign, Harris proposed significant pay hikes for the millions of public school teachers, forces companies to disclose their pay gap between men and women, and penalizing those who are not narrowing it. The Biden and Harris administration have pushed to eliminate bias in home appraisals and the use over $700 billion federal contracting budget to buoy minority businesses. Oh, yeah, like the federal government is like the biggest employer in the world. It has over $700 billion in contracts. And for what most people don't know in America is like portions of that $700 billion, a certain percentage, I think over 20% or 23%, is being allocated or has been forced to be allocated towards small businesses, women-owned businesses, minority-owned businesses, veteran-owned businesses, and disabled veteran-owned business. I am a disabled vet. I spent 23 years in the U.S. military. I'm now retired. Okay, Harris has released a basket of economic policies focused on the high cost of housing, taxes, small business expenses, child care, and goods. Oh, I don't know why. I normally don't say that I was in the military, but yes, I have been in the military. I retired from the military back in, I retired. I forgot what year. Okay, let me get back to the article. Her plan often built on Biden's policies like increasing the child tax credit and lifting the corporate tax rate to 28%. Campaign spokesman James Singer did not comment on the story. He told Reuters that Harris will continue to present her opportunity economy agenda to lower costs, make housing more affordable, and spur economic growth across America. I guarantee you, housing's going up. There's no doubt about it. It's going up, people. Housing, it's been going up over the years. It's not going to stop going up. But I can understand, wanting to make housing more affordable. Again, I just don't think that I won't say that. But if more money is needed, there's no place in the world like America where you can make more money if you want to make more money. There are so many places that offer training to help you get certain certifications. You don't have to go to college. You can get certified in different things like cybersecurity, some type of information technology skill. You don't have to go to college. You can learn a trade. Electricians make good money. Construction workers. There's so much money out there that can be made that people are just not aware of. Okay, releasing new economic policy with less than 50 days left in a tight presidential election race could mean the new measures never reach crucial voters, some advisors acknowledge. Typically, you would see a campaign wrap up persuading voters by September and move to mobilizing people, but this is not the typical campaign, said a source with knowledge of the new plans, referring Harris jumped to the top of the ticket in late July. Yeah, because remember, yeah, this is kind of late, so the article says. We have to continue persuading and mobilizing folks at the same time until the very end. Republican Donald Trump economic proposal aimed at working class Americans include eliminating taxes on tips and Social Security benefits, opening up federal land to housing construction, and deporting millions of immigrants to the country who Republicans say are driving up costs. Okay. The former president has also proposed a new cross-the-board tariffs on goods not made in the U.S. that could raise costs for American consumers and inflation, but that is backed by a slim majority of voters. Trump has tried to pin on Democrats inflation that popped globally as COVID-19 pandemic shutdowns eased and has made the still high cost of groceries, particularly bacon, a rally speech staple. From 2019 to 2023, the Food Consumer Price Index rose by 25%, the U.S. Department of Agriculture reported, which is interesting. And let's just say this, interest rates falling currently is going to be something the Democrats will talk about, in the news, because the rates coming down under the current administration is something that they can take credit for. Harris gains on economy. Republicans have traditionally polled better on the economy than Democrats, and Trump beat Biden and then Harris on the topic earlier this year. Some polls, however, are shifting in her direction. A Financial Times Michigan Ross poll this month showed 44% of registered voters trusted Harris' economic stewardship, compared with 42% who backed Trump. And Reuters IPSOS polling in August showed her narrowing the gap on the economy. Okay. The Federal Reserve's decision to cut rates by half a percentage point last week, reflecting the belief that inflation risks have fallen, could lower some costs for consumers. Yeah, with the lowering of the rates, consumers like myself and you, are able to borrow money at a cheaper rate to purchase cars, to buy things. It's lowering the cost for businesses to borrow money, consumers. And when you're able to borrow more money, you're pretty much putting money back into the economy. Okay, some Harris supporters have urged the campaign to double down on the economic message that is already out there instead of rolling out new ideas. Let me read that again. Some Harris supporters have urged the campaign to double down on the economic message that is already out there instead of rolling out new ideas. Before I even read this, because this is my first time reading this, I said there are policies and plans already out there that people are not taking advantage of. And the introduction of new, ideas is great, but most people have no clue on what those ideas are. How come you don't know anything about the stock market? How come you don't know anything about compound interest? How come you don't know anything about having your money make money in your sleep through investments? How come you don't know, the difference between appreciating assets and depreciating assets? There's so many of us that buy and purchase depreciating assets all the time, like a car, like clothes, like things that we really don't need. We just want it by leaving your money in the bank, and it's depreciating. That car depreciates over time, instead of assets that we can use to appreciate, like rental income, like paper assets, the stocks, the Metas, the Microsoft, the Starbucks, the Amazon, the Apple, the Nvidia, the AMD, the Coca-Cola, the dividend stocks that companies that pay you dividend from owning them. Johnson & Johnson, General Electric, AT&T, REITs, these real estate, trusts that pay you for owning them. We don't know anything about that. We don't know anything about our local, government systems that can offer you, assistance in gaining certain knowledge and training, so on and so forth. We're not taking advantage of that. But We do know what football team is playing next week, or what basketball team, soccer team, you know, what's happening with the presidential elections, what's happening with crime in our area, who's guilty, who's not guilty, who bought a new car last week, who went on this trip last week, oh, look at that dress, you all on social media, so on and so forth. You're paying attention to that. So again, ideas and plans are already out there that people are not taking advantage of. But it's your choice, to be honest with you. It's your choice. You know, my recommendation is to do more show and tells rather than address this with endless white papers. Go to grocery stores and apartment buildings and more, said Donna Brazile, a longtime Democratic strategist. Inflation may have gone down, but the cost of living hasn't changed. I just said that. You may try to lower, you know, or create affordable housing, but it's still going up. It's still going to be expensive. Even though the government may be able to provide assistance, it's going to still be at a higher cost. But what if you own that real estate? What if you own those houses and you're able to rent out to the government or rent out to just people to make money? Because things are going up, you know, just like the stock prices are going up since its creation, you know, from ages hundreds of years ago or 90 years ago, however long the stock market's been around, right? Things have only gone up, and it will continue to go up as we advance and as we able to create more. That's just the way it is. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's neither. It just is. It's all about what we choose to do with this. And as long as we do right by it, you know, things will be okay. All right. Others believe more economic policy is not a priority. Adam Noor, a money manager and Harris donor, said it's a character election and not a policy election. That is true. It's all about who you like more, him or her. You know, at least that's the way it's being presented. It's all about the things that are being said, the actions that have taken place in the past, and whom they can convince you to like more, it seems like. And that's what this guy's saying. And again, I'm not an expert at any of this. I'm only simply reading articles, looking up information, and providing my opinion. And when you hear this, or if you read this, you may see it differently. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, I have to hurry up. I'm not sure what more policy information actually brings to the table. She really has to continue articulating a vision, communicate that vision to the people who really feel like they've been left behind, Noor said. I'm going to read that again. She really has to continue articulating a vision, communicate that vision to people who really feel like they have been left behind, Noor said. And Adam Noor is a money manager and a Harris donor. You see how he said she has to continue articulating a vision and communicate that vision to you to make you feel like you haven't been left behind, because it's all about tapping into your feelings. That's what commercials do. That's what the news does. It taps into your feelings. It makes you feel a certain kind of way. It can sometimes make you feel happy. It can sometimes make you feel sad. And it can also make you feel fearful. You can be made to feel fearful when there's nothing to be scared of, right? Because where there is no vision, the people perish. But we're allowing one person to provide us a vision. And I am here to tell you, no one person can just tell you what their vision is for you. Mind your money business. Mind your business. What is your vision for yourself? Do not allow someone else to speak their vision over you. Don't do it. Create your own vision for your life. Create your own plan. That's what I talked about in my video on yesterday, or my earlier video, where it talks about creating a plan. What is your plan? Do not allow someone else to speak their plan, their vision over your life, your financial situation, and for your family. Although it may be a good plan or maybe a good vision that that person's speaking of, but they're speaking for millions of people. So if that vision is created, it's a great vision, then you need to make sure you need to create your vision within that vision and make sure that you tap into the resources that are being offered to create the plan that you're putting, in motion for your life. Okay, many of Harris' proposals would require congressional approval and would be unlikely to pass unless Democrats win both the House and the Senate. And that is the end of the article. Again, it said that she's set to release a new economic proposal this week, because she's running for president and the elections are supposed to take place in November 2024, which is right around the corner, people. But again, there's nothing wrong with this plan. Any plan that any presidential election, a presidential candidate puts out there. But what is your plan? Create your plan. You can't just rely on that plan, right? Because how can someone create a plan to help you generate wealth for you? It's not going to happen. No one's going to make you wealthy. If that's the case, a lot of us wouldn't work jobs for 20, 30 years and get nothing from it. Nothing. But you can get that 6% match. Say that company offers you that 6% match. That could be equivalent to the new policy plan that may be introduced by either candidate, right? But if you're not taking advantage of that 401k plan to get that 6% match within your company, then, what's the benefit? So if you're not taking advantage of these policy programs or economic plans that are being placed into action by either presidential candidate, and once they become president, what good is the policy or the plan if you're not tapping into it, if you're not aware of it, if you're not paying attention? And most people are not paying attention. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, because I'm trying to do a video a day and I'm about to go to work, and I wanted to come on and say something since I had time. I need to go put on my shirt for work. But yeah, the decision is yours. Start tapping into assets that are going to help you maintain a solid foundation for you and your family. And then, pass on the information to those that are willing to listen. That's all you can do. That's it. All right. Yeah, that's it. All right, you guys take care. Peace and have a blessed rest of your day.